Alright, it seems like we're all set up. Let's welcome our next runner, Phlaps, for the game Dustin and Elysian Tales.
Alright. Hi, I'm Phlap. This is my buddy Hoodie. He doesn't run the game at all, but he's gonna take care of my commentary.
Yep, I spent many nights just writing notes for this.
It'll be great. So yeah, this is Dust. Any % warps. Audience, give me a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go! We're gaming! Alright, I am immediately messing things up, but it's totally fine. This is a panorama cutscene, and because of this opening tidbit being kind of rough, I'm gonna just have Hoodie do commentary for a little while.
Yeah, so welcome to the prologue of this run. This is going to be the Glade. Essentially, this beginning portion is going to be a lot of collecting and setup for what we're going to be doing later on in the run. This first portion right here is going to involve us getting our abilities and some items as well as money. That way, once we get into the later chapters, we can just run through this real smooth. So speaking of abilities, we have collected our first one being the Dash. That has unlocked our more optimal movement on the ground known as GDC, or Ground Dodge Cancel, which we will see a little bit more of after we unfortunately have to skip over some deer.
It's fine, the deer.
But now look at us. Look how much faster we can go on the ground as opposed to those rocket jumps. Getting to the point to where we can almost just outpace the camera. But let's hope that doesn't bite us with some enemy right here. Alright, and we were able to get through. Alright.
Yes! Alright, we got it!
Alright, so that was a frame-perfect trick. On that screen right there, getting that ability, you do not actually have the option to skip that cutscene. It is unskippable, so as we were going towards it, we had to pause buffer, that way we could get it. But unfortunately, with the success of us getting that, we got red-beared by some enemies. But we're through the room, and now on to more of this prologue chapter. So as I mentioned before, this is going to be a lot of setup and prep for what we're going to be doing later on. Our objectives are collecting the multiple abilities that we have in here, being the Dash, the Dust Storm, which we just got, and the Aerial Dust Storm, which we'll be getting later on. For items, we are collecting 3 chicken, 5 keys, and 15 gold that we're going to be using for a shopping trip that will be coming up in the next chapter. Go, pick up the walls. Alright, and let's have a clean escape out of this room.
Alright, we're out ski. Unfortunately, I got hit, which is a problem, because if you pick up a chicken, it's going to be consumed.
Yeah, I guess we can go into it a little bit right now, but we are playing this game on casual mode because it gives us the ability to do this. With all of our movement abilities, they consume stamina, which in casual mode is infinite. You could not do this in any other difficulty, which is really nice. But now we are about to break down this wall and get our last chicken as well as our last key.
There we go. Touch the save point to heal myself, so that way I need to load the game. There we go. Alright. If you don't load the game there, a cutscene that you can skip normally just kind of breaks for no good reason.
Alright, and it looks like we are good on items as well as money. So all we gotta do is make our grand escape from this room and hopefully the end of this prologue. See, no red bear, thank you.
Alright.
So yeah, we would have had this bomb over here for a slime that would have given us money and some XP, but are you just going to go for it anyway? Oh, and we get a zoop too!
We get a zoop. I don't need it because my XP and money are fine.
Alright.
So we're just going to skip both of them.
Yeah, after we're stuck here learning how to parry.
Parry will come in very pertinent later. Remember that.
It sure will. Alright, but the last thing we're going to do in this room is just RDS, or Rising Dust Storm, our way over a trigger that would activate a little tutorial cutscene as well as a little miniature boss fight. Now we're going to ADC our way over to the end of the chapter.
Right.
And there we go, we're out the prologue. The run is actually started.
The run is alive. We're doing great. Yeah, so this should be the last panorama cutscene we have to watch. The rest of them, like, you can't normally skip them, but, you know, we're speedrunners and we find glitches, so we're going to skip the rest of them. One of them is tied to my XP, which is why I mentioned that was fine earlier. But, the most important thing we're going to be seeing in this chapter is the first instance of the warp glitch, which we use very frequently throughout the run. It's kind of technical, and I'll let Hoodie handle the explanation of it because we have another frame perfect trick coming up, which is more inconsequential.
If only. So yeah, with the Warps glitch, the namesake of this category, essentially coming up, there is going to be a map screen that in normal runs of this game you would go to. That way you could select a room that you want to teleport to or just go through as you casually go throughout your run. However, on that map screen, even though the rooms aren't actually there, if you believe hard enough, i.e. knowing the positions of them beforehand as you run the game, you can just teleport there, either by going on a save panel and using one of these teleport gems, or by exit warping from a loading zone. So we're going to see that coming up, but first we got to bully this mouse into the corner real quick.
A frame perfect trick complete, by the way. It was getting a discount on that last teleport crystal. We also have negative money, but don't worry about that.
Hey,
Oh, hey, there he is. His dialogue overlaps a panorama cutscene, which is why it skips it. Also, I just saved on the map screen. Don't worry about that. It'll come in relevant in like 20 minutes.
All right, and again, that was the first instance of the warp. Again, you just believe hard enough on the map screen, and as long as you know the position, you can go to it. But here we warp to a room that contains our only damage-boosting item for the entirety of the run, known as the Flesh Sheet. This strat right here is known as the EFS,
Yes!
or Early Flesh Sheet, and thank goodness.
I got the cool movement.
Yeah, you got the cool movement, keeping all those invincibility frames off of that first set of spikes that we hit. So now that we have the Flesh Sheets, we are much more powerful than we should be. In the top left-hand corner, you can see that we are currently at level 0. Before we were doing single-digit damage. Now we're going to be doing triple-digit damage for the rest of the run.
All right. Oh, there we go. And we warp again. This is where the XP comes into play. Kill this guy, and then a panorama cutscene would play. Sorry if I just mashed the mic. I just did it again. Apologies again. And we level up, which bounces us out of the cutscene. Like that. And we just go back in.
Yep. So now we are fully into Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is fairly simple enough. We're going to see more instances of the Warps glitch, but realistically it just comes down to getting some smooth movement throughout these caverns.
Yep. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. This run is very front-loaded with a lot of like the tricks and such. Something important to mention about the whole Warps glitch is one of the things that it takes into consideration is how you get to the map screen. So like right here, we're grounded and we just go to, we went to the map screen. Here, oh, one more, there we go. We're going to leave this room like from a high position because, well, one reason there's enemies down here that will ruin our day, and because if we don't, when we do this next warp, it just doesn't work. Flip. If I didn't leave high there, I would have just landed in that wall.
Yep, and right there we just got our next ability, which is just the crouch slide. We're going to see it more so just get canceled off of ledges like that. That way we can get some faster movement. But realistically, we are now good on all of our abilities. Again, it was very front-loaded. The Glade is the major breaking point. Not getting out of there is what would have made this not a good run.
Yeah, and we're doing another exit warp here because, again, if we don't do it before entering the final boss of Chapter 2, we just end up in like a nice teal void. This is Lady Tethys. She's a very tough boss fight. She does like projectiles as other things, but we're just gonna like jump up here and then there we go. Make sure you pause. And she's dead.
All right, what a tough fight. How'd you do it?
I stood on her head and she didn't like it.
Now I know. But yeah, the boss fights are...
They're trivialized, but they're still kind of difficult. Lady Tethys is definitely the easiest of them.
Yeah, the difficulty is just pausing right there. But here we are going to do another panorama break by bonking our head on the ceiling.
There we
and
go.
Then turning back.
And there it is. Yep. And here's a sheep.
Yeah, so this is a very important sheep.
Did you just put that thing in your inventory?
Yeah? What?
Okay, then.
So that sheep's important because it lets us see Fidget. That's the last time we're going to see her until the credits.
Yep. Yeah, it's another fun thing to show off because this game is very charming and I love it dearly. And that's just a great cutscene. Oh yeah, so here's the end of Chapter 2. There's a bunch of cutscenes, so now's a great time for some donations.
Thank you. Just want to let everyone know that we all revenues that we get from Twitch subscriptions, share bits received during this entire weekend is going to be going straight to Animal Park. So please consider subscribing now, or if you have a Prime sub, you might as well use that as well. Get yourself some fastest for emotes featuring the always adorable PB the Cheetah, and don't forget to check and see if you have exactly the Twitch Prime sub, gaming sub. And all the donation would go straight towards our incentive for tonight, trying to get our bonus game in. If we can reach $5,000 by the end of today, we'll get straight. That's our bonus game. Thank you, Cherry.
All right, and now we are out of that room and into yet another cutscene, but thankfully it's just one.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right, and that's over. We are now officially done with Chapter 2.
Chapter 3! There's nothing new going on here, just a bunch of warps and a bunch of movement.
All right.
Give me mouse.
And there we go. So yeah, welcome again to Chapter 3. This is going to be the most warps-intensive portion of the run, because the goal of this area is collecting 4 key items between 4 different manors on the map, and that is needed to unlock the final boss of the area known as Pain. So I hope you enjoyed the map screen and the inside of these manors, because it's just going to be this until we get to the boss fight. But I guess until we get there, I can kind of explain what we're going to do. So as I mentioned before, we played this game on casual. Outside of the fact that it gives us this infinite stamina, it also means that we can't die, which is great. However, one big caveat is that when we level up, we actually do not gain the ability to auto-set our skill gems, which are your rewards for leveling up. They automatically go into the slots that Dust has for his skills. So instead, during the latter portion of the boss fight, we are actually going to switch the difficulty over to normal. That way, once we defeat the boss on normal and level up, we will then be able to allocate those skill gems as we wish. Because he's going to be giving us a lot. It'll be 5 whole levels we get off of those.
Which, we finished the game at level 8. Oh, I broke that. Oh, well. Oh, we're doing this a little bit slow. It's fine.
It's fine. We get over it.
Well, that was weird. My jump got destroyed. Oh, well.
There we go.
Alright, so that was Mansion 2. Here comes Mansion 3. A little quick thing to note about this one is it's another kind of exit warpy thing. I jumped off of the save platform there. Because if you don't do that, surprise, surprise, you end up in a black void.
So yeah, we just have to RDS ourselves out of the floor, collect our keepsake, and again, it's just another manor escape.
Yep.
To a degree, I guess, as we go through these manors, they do get a little more difficult on how the movement goes, but we should be, it should be smooth.
Oh well, that was not terrible. Good stuff, and we will be exiting this manor very shortly and making our way over to Manor 4. For Manor 4, we are actually going to be starting it, I guess, towards the back end of the manor, as there are 2 destructible walls that we need to get rid of before we actually venture in. Well, actually, it's the front of the manor. We just warped to the end. But
I gotcha.
We can't do that because there's walls in the way, as he mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, we will be stuck in there if we try to just go through the manor and then come out.
Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can get both of them.
Alright, we get both?
Nah, we got one.
Alright.
That's fine. We needed one. There's one of those you can only blow up. You can't actually break it with your sword. Alright.
Alright, and now we are warping to the manor. Dash between some rooms, collect this thing that's not important, and then collect the important thing. And now we have unlocked the ability to fight the final boss in this area. Once we leave this manor, we will be warping directly to him. And I guess since we're going to be setting up into that boss fight, as I mentioned before, we're going to be switching over to normal, but the strat for the boss, overall, while we're still on casual, is going to involve a lot of pausing. As apparently Dust just gets to be invincible when you pause.
Yeah, so it's gonna look kind of odd because, yeah, he has a couple different. He has 2 attacks that we only want him to do, which is a ground slam and a swipe. Give me the thing though. There we go. And the swipe is basically what we have to worry about. Otherwise, we should be fine. All right.
All right, and now it's time to fight the final boss of this area, Kane.
Talk to this old lady, and hope Kane doesn't give us a hard time.
All right, focus in. After we spam him with a bunch of items. By the way, we just collected 4 things. But yep, welcome to the final boss of this area, Kane. So as mentioned, he has 2 main attacks that we want to see, a swipe and a slam. We are usually in position to avoid the slam just by being right under him. However, the swipe, since it takes up the entire ground space of Dust, we pause right in front of before the hitbox even comes out. That way, Dust gains that invulnerability to hit him some more. And there was the casual to normal switch.
Yes,
Boss is
no
over.
hit! Whew. I am very happy I did not get hit there. The fight just goes absolutely pear-shaped if you get hit. 99 times out of 10, he will just spawn enemies, and they make it so much worse.
All right, and again, as you see, we got the level up before switching over to casual again, and now we are level 7. So we will be coming up basically on the in-game power level here in just a moment.
Yep.
But that is the end of Chapter 3.
And
now we get into Chapter 4, the most gameplay-intensive part. So I need you all to really focus on what's going to happen, because this is going to be an incredible feat of skill.
And we're just going to leave.
All right, keep your eyes open as wide as possible. All right, we've made it through Chapter 4, essentially.
Yeah, Warps is a very powerful glitch. But this is also another plethora of cutscenes, so if you got anything to read, go for it.
Thank you very much, for sure. What would you like? Make sure to check out our Team Fastest First merch store while you're watching this event this weekend. You can purchase limited edition Fastest for Life at FWA23 shirt for only $20, with all the proceeds going to our friend at Animal Park at the Conservatory Center. There are a variety of sizes and color available. Worldwide shipping, unisex, women's shirt options. Shirts will only be available until the conclusions of the FWA weekend. So use the command line !merch in the chat to get a link to the store.
All right, so before we actually start off into Chapter 5, we're going to do what we did in Chapter 1 and bully another NPC into the wall to break a panorama cutscene.
We're not bullying him, we're walking him. Yeah, this also has 2 purposes. Whenever you talk to an NPC for the first time, you get a bit of experience. Oh, hey, we leveled up. We're level 8.
Yep, so we are now max level for the rest of this run. And again, open your eyes wide for another fantastic feat of gameplay. Because this is where it all really comes down. We are in the end game. We have made it to the end game. Welcome to the final boss room and the final part of this run. We are, make sure you don't pull attack.
Yep.
And this is General Gaius, the final boss of the run, as well as the final phase of this boss. Now before, with Lady Tethys and Kane, we were able to kind of just stand in one position and blend them up. As you can see, Gaius does not like that. He doesn't like that at all. So instead of blending, we have to go for some loops with a 3-hit aerial combo into a slam. However, as we just saw, Gaius can cheat. Much like how we learned how to parry, he can just parry by default.
Yeah, he cheats. And fun fact, for every time he parries, I'm going to donate $5. We're at 2.
Yep, please. Gaius is being real nice right now. Never mind. I shouldn't have spoke.
Ooh. A little scary. All right. I challenge everybody in here and in chat to do the same. That's 4.
We're at 4. All right, we're at 5. Gaius wants every bit of money to go towards this great charity.
He does.
But yep, after this boss fight, we are essentially running down the clock into time. That's 7!
Oh,
all right,
wow.
That's it.
Okay, that was kind of optimal for him to do that.
Yeah, I don't know why he positioned himself so poorly.
That was perfect for. That was like a good position for him. I've never seen that happen. Hey, this never happened before.
All right, so while time will be coming up very shortly, there were some moments in the run that could have gone a little bit better, so we're going to go back and do them.
Yeah, we're just going to load the game. Yeah, remember that thing that I said I made a save on the map screen? It kind of has some funny properties.
And we did all of the game and we're done.
We're done, that's it. Woo!
That was so much smoother than I was expecting.
Oh, I'm so glad. I got all the things that made. I got all the things.
All right. So yeah, what we ended at what, 7 parries?
Yep, 7. So $35.
Thank you guys for not burning my wallet. Those practice runs are brutal. I'd be down in hundreds right now.
Oh god, yeah. He was really mean in practice, but yeah, I guess to do a couple quick shout outs. Shout outs to the Dust community. They're great. Shout outs to Murtak. He made a 2-hour video on a 20-minute run going through everything. So that's awesome. Shout outs to Tak. He's been, 1, nagging me to do a different category, and 2, he's been very helpful with just random tech questions that I have. And shout outs to FWA and Fastest Furs for having all this. This is great.
Yeah, this was a great run.
All right, let's give another big round of applause to Phlap for breaking this game that I spent way too many hours on.